Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to this session. We are going to talk about the movement from Taleo to ORC and try and get a feel as to why there's a little bit of a hesitation there. Our agendas, I'm going to introduce myself. I'm going to talk a little bit about Elire. And then I thought I would take a personal spin on this because I started my career in systems in Taleo. So we're going to go through a little bit of a personal journey and my experience with my hesitation from going from Taleo to ORC. We're going to talk about a little, versus Taleo versus ORC. What does Taleo have and ORC doesn't, and vice versa. And then we're going to go through some ORC features because if you don't know, ORC is has vastly improved since its conception. And then we're gonna leave some time at the end of the session to see if there's any questions. So without further ado, I will introduce myself. I am a managing consultant here at Elire. I've been with Elire for almost 3 years. I started my actual career in recruiting. I was a staff recruiter, moved to corporate recruiting, and then from corporate recruiting, I got a big break in HCM systems, and so I have been in systems for 14 years. I've been a consultant for 13 years. I specialize in what I like to say the touchy-feely part of the application. So it's talent management. We do the recruiting, we do the onboarding, we do the performance management, succession planning, career development, goal management, etc. So it's the happy side of HR. Next, we are going to talk a little bit about Elire. So with Elire, we have over 475 clients. More than 40 of those are Fortune 500 clients. Several of our consultants, such as myself, have Oracle Cloud certifications. We have over 130 cloud customer projects. We like to consider ourselves people to cloud or PeopleSoft to cloud experts. We have 19 plus years of on-premise PeopleSoft expertise. And then going from PeopleSoft to cloud transformations, we also have expertise in that. We also do some application roadmap services, which navigates the future of the Oracle applications with you, the client. We also have proprietary accelerator tools. So we came together as a team and said, okay, if we're going to set something up from the ground and the client needs help, here you go. Here's some accelerator tools for you. We also are an OPN service partner. And again, like I said, we have a dedicated team of Oracle certified consultants. And we pride ourselves on our deep understanding that we have within not only the Oracle application, but also when it comes to clients' needs and business processes. So, poll number one.
Thank you. Just to get a feel for where we're at again in the virtual room today, where are you at on your Cloud HCM journey? Are you already live on Oracle Cloud HCM? Are you maybe mid implementation or still kind of getting a feel researching the move to cloud? Give everyone just a minute to answer here. And get those final answers in. And we're going to go ahead here and close it out. And it looks like we have kind of a split audience today, Amber. So we have about half which are currently implementing Cloud HCM and another half researching the move to cloud. Back to you.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Jordan. All right. So as I said, when speaking about the agenda, I thought I would take a personal take on this Taleo to ORC. So here's a timeline. At first, I had set it up as kind of a story and a couple of slides, and I thought, let's do a timeline and kind of talk through my personal points through this timeline. So In 1996, Taleo was founded in Canada, and then it made its debut in 2003 with contingency workforce. Um, my first Taleo implementation was in 2011. So as I stated earlier, I started in staffing. I ended up in corporate recruiting. I had to actually recruit for the director of HR systems and talent development. She had three positions open. I filled two of them, and then I myself filled the second one. Her and her manager really saw some potential in me, and I had already been in so many applicant tracking systems throughout the years as a recruiter. So I really was very interested in how's it working on the back end. So my very first implementation was Taleo, and I fell in love with Taleo. Taleo's flexibility is just it was amazing. And then in 2012, so we had a implementation there at my company that I was at. I was internal, and it was a global implementation, and so lots of moving pieces, but we hit it off, and then I became the system administrator. It was a really great experience. So then 2012 Oracle purchased Taleo. 2013 I became a consultant. I took the leap of faith. I left this great organization that I still love, and I still actually talk to a lot of people that are still there. Um, and jumped into consulting, which was great. It was fantastic. We were still implementing Taleo. Not only were we doing Taleo recruiting and onboarding, but we were also doing Taleo performance, which is also an implementation I did whenever I was at that organization. But then here comes 2017, because there was a lot of talk, where's Oracle going to go with this? Are they going to come up with their own applicant tracking system? Are they going to keep Taleo? Are we going to keep with the integration? Because during the years the integration with TCC to HCM, that was always being expanded upon, but then it was kind of came to a halt, and I call 2017 the year of the great unknown. Unfortunately, I had experienced one of my very first layoffs, and it doesn't take any. I mean, I'm used to, okay, just because you're down, you can get right back up. Well, it took a while for me to get back up, even with all of my networking, but it was because no one knew what was going to happen. So in 2018, Oracle said, you know what, here you go. We have Oracle Recruiting Cloud. And the greatest selling point we have right now is that it is already in Oracle HCM Cloud. And that was in the summer of 2018. That was also my very first ORC implementation. So we were with the early adopters, and they were some troopers. With 2018, I was luckily back at work, thanks to super good friend of mine that we stayed in contact with, and I was implementing both ORC and Taleo, and I was still very much a Taleo person. So 2020. Adobe sunsets Adobe Flash, and that is was the beginning of the end for me. And then 2022, the Oracle comes through and they introduce the recruiting booster. So not only now do we have recruiting cloud, but if we want to enhance that, we have the recruiting booster. So today and beyond, Oracle says it's going to continue to enhance Oracle Recruiting Cloud. It will continue to support Taleo, but there's no longer going to be any development on their end. So start to finish, that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm going to keep going a little bit. It's still a little bit more personal, and it goes with what was on my timeline, right? I had my own resistance. I was very much Taleo all the way. It was way more flexible than ORC. I always used to say, okay, and this was at the very beginning. Taleo would be like a room and ORC would be a box. So you really have all this space to work in the room. You didn't have much space to work in the box. It is not the case anymore. But that's where I was. I did not, even though I loved to learn, I love to learn. I want to, know more and expand my knowledge. But I was still very hesitant as to whether or not ORC would ever be able to catch up with Taleo, because to me, Taleo was the best of breed applicant tracking system. So the flexibility was just untouchable. But we're there. So even though that was my own resistance and I was Taleo all the way, I have a newfound appreciation. CSA ORC for life. Once Adobe Flash was sunsetted in 2020 and they put in Taleo Fluid, I started to see Taleo coming in that little box. And I was hoping, okay, we can't all work in a little box. Let's expand. And sure enough, Oracle product development team, they always come through every quarterly update. There's just so much. So many notes to keep up with, so many upgrades, extreme changes to ORC. So from 2018 to now, 2018 was kind of bare bones, and that was a key selling point, was that it was already integrated with Oracle HCM. But now it's not only integrated with HCM, you can create requisitions and you can use jobs or positions, and it pulls over jobs and whatever information is in core HR to you. It's not just pushing to core HR the people, candidates and applicants. Just so many changes, and it just keeps getting better. So with every upgrade, it slowly but surely was making doubters like me believers, and clearly I am definitely an extreme believer. So now we're gonna go into a little bit of Taleo versus ORC. So here's a little bit of a comparison. So the similarities are they're both enterprise systems. You can have multiple career sites. You can have multiple, there's OTBI reporting, multiple languages are supported. They're both mobily supported. Within the user experience, we can brand our career sections, as many career sections as we would like, but we can brand them how we would like. There's pre-screening questions, there's interview scheduling, emails, SMS communications, and interview feedback tools are available. There's candidate matching, and then there's also the approvals and notifications. When it comes to the configuration, there's a very familiar Taleo term, user-defined fields, or UDFs, are now descriptive flex fields, or are descriptive flex fields within Oracle Recruiting Cloud. We can have several job application flows. We can have a candidate selection flow, which is in Taleo the candidate selection workflow. It's the candidate selection process in ORC. Then we have requisition templates as well. Pipeline requisitions are supported, job offer templates. There's a lot of key similarities between Taleo and ORC. But then there are some differences as well. So we're going to kind of go back and forth with this one. We have Taleo, there is a delivered integration with Oracle Cloud. But with ORC, we're within the application. So there's no need for an integration with Cloud HCM. There's no address validations during the job application. We do within ORC, whenever a candidate applies, they do use Vertex to validate the address that the candidate is putting in. There is a login required with an email address and a password, or a username and a password with Taleo. With ORC, there's an embedded email verification. So when you go and you apply to a job, you enter in your email address. It takes you directly to the application. You fill it out, press send. If you apply for another job, let's say later that week, you put in your email address. It sends you a notification that says, hey, put in this code to verify that it's you. We do have candidate status tracking through communication agent in Taleo. We have communications to the candidate through the system. So we can generate automated emails. We can actually push emails from manually from ORC to the candidate as well. Candidates are manually recorded at as the sourcing agent. So where did I come from? Career Builder, Monster, etc. Sourcing is automatically captured within Recruiting Cloud. There are not chatbot features, so chatbot enabled through additional licensing within ORC. There is a disposition process within Taleo, but then we have disposition reporting in ORC, and Oracle to continue to support compliance enhancements. So government required enhancements, but not continued development. With ORC, they came up with the Oracle Recruiting Booster. We have dynamic skills, best match AI, and there's continued vendor partner enablement. So And that I left a link right here because that's kind of a link to where all of the vendors that Oracle is working with, whether it be assessment, background, what have you, or resume parsers, what have you. So they are continuing to enable via partners. So with that, with the comparison and contrast, I guess you could say, we're going to move into some ORC features. So within the agenda of this webinar, we did mention Recruiting Activity Center, Opportunity Marketplace, Oracle Recruiting Booster, candidate AI, and chatbots. So we're going to go through a couple of these. So the Recruiting Activity Center, whereas normally you go into within ORC, there's a little icon, hiring. Within hiring, you would just see a list of your requisitions, and you could go into the requisitions, and then you could see a list of your candidates. But with the Recruiting Activity Center, it's a one-stop shop. So you can see everything. Not only can you see your requisition and your candidates, but you see where the activity is at. So if you can take a look at the activity center. There's 29 items. There's 10, applicants. There's 10 requisitions. There's 14 offers, and you can go into each of those to take a look at it. When you select the activity that you want to take a look at, there's a drawer that opens right here. As you can see, there's Curtis Fady and Conrad Recruiter. It just kind of lets you know where where the candidates are within the requisition, or where the requisition is. This requisition is actually a job formatting in progress. So there's a little drawer that opens up. If you have a candidate there, same thing. It will open up and tell you where you're at. But it's a one-stop shop for recruiters and hiring managers. So pretty nifty, especially having grown with ORC, knowing that you don't have to go in and select the job requisition and then select the number of active candidates, and it's all right there in a one-stop shop. So that is one of the features, one of the many features, but one we decided to highlight. Then we have the Opportunity Marketplace. So this allows organizations and employees to connect just to make sure that the organization is getting the most out of its talent. So we have jobs and we have gigs within Opportunity Marketplace. So this kind of takes over the current job openings within internal, within Oracle Cloud HCM. If you have ORC turned on, there was an icon that was current jobs, but now this is Opportunity Marketplace. You go into the Opportunity Marketplace as an internal candidate, you can see that there are jobs that are open. The jobs that are open are not only available to you as an internal candidate, but also to external candidates on the career site. Then you'll also see gigs. So these gigs are tailored to employees for short-term opportunities to help them develop and enhance their skills. So we have recommended ones. And this is a screenshot of recommended. So and that's based upon your employee profile. So we have recommended jobs and gigs. We have favorite jobs and gigs, and then we just have a list. If we don't break them down, it would just be a full list of all of our jobs and gigs that are out there. So and it really is geared more towards that employee development. To help them increase their skills and competencies, knowledge, skills, and abilities, your KSAs, right? To enhance the organization. So that's a little bit about Opportunity Marketplace. Then we have Oracle Recruiting Booster, which Oracle Recruiting Booster with Oracle Recruiting is it's pretty mind-blowing. Not only yes, it is licensing, but with that licensing, you also have a resume parsing vendor that automatically comes with it. So you don't have to sign a contract with another resume parsing vendor. Our Chili says, here you go. It comes with Oracle Recruiting Booster. You also have the ability with booster to create and post hiring events. So if I'm going as a recruiter, I'm going to I'm in Texas, so and my alma mater is University of Houston, so we'll just go with that. I'm going to U of H for a career event, and I want to post that online. So I'll go post it online, and then we can blast it out to our candidates. There's also the ability to do that. You see, there's two-way candidate messaging. There's also a kind of a candidate relationship management tool in there. Actually, there is. So what you would do is create that event, that you would send the event out to those that are already in the system that actually meet the criterion. Then you can post it to the site. And you post it to the site, and then you can have people that register on site or on the website, so you know who's coming and who to expect. And then maybe they don't register, but they know that there's an event out there and they'll be there. So it also provides the ability to view interview information in one centralized location. So really neat thing about Oracle Recruiting Cloud is there is an out-of-the-box integration with Microsoft Outlook. So you have your Outlook calendar hooked up. You have all of your hiring team on an interview. Your recruiter gets to go into an interview schedule and see, not only are we seeing the managers' schedules, but we're able to put it all together, right? We're all colored blue, orange, what have you, and then we can pick out a time that's going to work for that whole team, so we don't have to go in and out of Outlook and then back into recruiting to allow for the interviews to be created. Another key factor with the recruiting booster is that it automatically will show you, hey, I've already put it together. This is it. So you as a recruiter can either go with what the system tells you, or you can schedule one on your own. So that is Oracle Recruiting Booster. There's actually a whole lot more to it, but I just kind of highlighted the important ones, at least that jump out at me as an implementer and as one that used to be an end user. So there's also within, and it comes with Recruiting Booster, the adaptive intelligence. So the adaptive intelligence is a natural language processing engine. It creates algorithms based on relative frequencies, relevance, and context of certain words and phrases in a document. So this kind of outlines what is going on the adaptive intelligence side. So in recruiting, there's jobs to applicant, candidates to jobs, candidates to candidate, and then jobs to job. So it's taking in all of that data, processing it to come up with kind of your best match scenarios, who meets what. Then we have the talent management side for developing your employees. You have the jobs to employee career path. And then you have the gigs for employees. Learning, you have courses. So it's going to bring your employees information in. Maybe they're looking into another job that they're interested in. Then learning would say, okay, these are the courses that I recommend if you want to get to a job like this. So you can have, if you take these courses, then these competencies will be associated with you, and these competencies are associated with this job. So that's the adaptive intelligence. It brings it in, it learns it. We're all kind of familiar with AI right now, so or getting familiar with it anywho. So that is the adaptive intelligence side. This is an example of the adaptive intelligence, and that's going to be the candidate best fit example. So it brought in the HR data, the applicant, candidate, employee job requisitions, and brings in all of this. And then there's also, as a hiring manager and as a recruiter, who are you making offers to? The system is learning that. So if I am opening an engineer job and I have created or I have some candidates in there that are engineers, and some are better than others, but the system is going, okay, so not only is the requisition an engineer requisition and we need skills XYZ, but this recruiter normally goes for When she creates an offer, people that have 3 to 4 years of experience. Okay, so these are going to be your best fit. Here is my recommendation. So right here, this is a senior HR analyst overview. Well, I say overview. This is a screenshot of overview of a requisition. You see that we have 7 new applicants, we have 14 active applicants, and the system automatically generates, here are my top recommendations. And then you can add them as a prospect. So these people were pulled from the system, and not already, they hadn't applied to the requisition, but the system said, okay, I'm taking all of this information, and these are the applicants that are already within the system, maybe not on the job, that match this job in particular. So we can add them as prospect, or if they were already on the job, then we can continue to move them throughout the flow. So we would want to use AI if there's a highly number of skilled applicants and candidates, because it does save time to manually go through each and every one of them. If you do have adaptive intelligence working in your favor, it kind of cuts that having to go through each applicant in half. And I understand that in some ways it's a little bit of a compliance hiccup, but there are rules, I guess, that you could make around that to still be within compliance. So next, we're going to talk about Oracle Digital Assistant. It's a platform that allows you to create and deploy the AI driven. So now we're really talking about AI, because Oracle Digital Assistant, excuse me, kind of talks to you. Again, it's still using the natural language processing. There's still algorithms involved. It offers improved engagement and efficiency with automated talent acquisition and onboarding. So you build the digital assistant, and that digital assistant can start talking back and forth to you. So you jump in and you select the little red box there with the I can't even think of the term right now. I apologize. But you select that, and ODA says, okay, I'm here. I'm your hiring digital assistant. How can I help you? And so then you, as a recruiter, I want to search for requisitions. And then what kind of requisitions do you want to search for? Or maybe we search for candidates. Okay, what kind of candidates are we looking for? We're looking for candidates with a bachelor's degree. It gives you options as you're going through. Obviously, they're options that are built by your consulting firm, you as the client, but then it answers as you go throughout the process. Excuse me. So that would be Oracle Digital Assistant. So the benefits of ORC, I have highlighted the really important, well, I say the really important, I've highlighted important ones to me. There's so many, there's a vast number of things that Oracle, not only Oracle Recruiting Cloud, but also Oracle Recruiting Booster offer to help the recruiting process, to help streamline it, to help the offer process. And on top of all of that, once you have selected a candidate, so our internal candidates can be processed. They're already within core HR. So they're processed as a promotion, a transfer, job change, what have you. But then you also have your the ability to create journeys for your external applicants. So once an application or an applicant has accepted an offer, maybe been through the background already, they come back, everything's good, we move them to HR. All of their information is automatically moved over to HR, and then the pre-boarding process starts. So that's kicked off. And then they're able to log into the cloud and put in their information. So maybe filling out I'm trying to personal information, verifying their address. So all pre day one activities, and then we do have day one activities that are within onboarding as well. So it just all goes together. There's no need for integration or any kind of integrations, at least if we're staying within the system. So it's the benefits are it improves the hire process. It improves the candidate experience. It is consistent across the board when it comes to user experience. There's additional cloud capabilities. There's a reduction in costs. Again, they are doing the partner enablement. They're just continuing to grow that. So there's a lot. You might already have a contract with a vendor that comes with a prepackaged solution for Oracle. So here you go. Integration is already there for you. We don't even have to build it out. Just a lot of benefits, enhancements with ORC. And as I stated earlier, my personal journey, I was incredibly hesitant, didn't think it was ever going to happen, that they were ever going to be able to catch up to Taleo, but it has. I can confidently say that is they've definitely done that and more. So those are the benefits. I do believe we are coming up on another poll, and I'll hand it back over to Jordan.
Thank you, Amber. So Amber shared a lot about her journey with kind of what the hesitation is or what she was looking at between Taleo and ORC. We want to know, what barriers are you facing? Is there resistance to change? Is there competition with other internal initiatives? Maybe concern over functionality or even budget considerations? And you can select all that apply. So feel free to pick multiple choices. As we get close to the end of our presentation as well, feel free again, if you do have any questions, to drop them in the Q&A, and we'll answer them actually right after this poll question. Otherwise, we'll get close to wrapping up here. Give everybody just 5 seconds here, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it out. Okay, so kind of a mixed bag of answers, but it looks like the top barriers are really resistance to change, as well as more that concern over functionality. And hopefully some of what Amber highlighted today kind of shows you some of the cool bells and whistles, as well as core functionality inside of ORC. You want to move to the next slide, Amber? And to that, we have come to the Q&A portion of our presentation. It looks like we don't have any questions so far. So I'll go over a couple final reminders here, and if there are any last questions, feel free to drop them in there. Just a quick reminder again that this session was recorded, so we'll definitely be sure to send it out. Feel free to share with other colleagues of yours that you think might find it interesting. We'll send that out via email, as well as we'll have it available on our Elire YouTube channel, which is just at Elire Inc., as well as on our Elire website, elire.com. Aside from today's webinar recording, there's a ton of content on our website. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, we have an entire hub dedicated specifically to Cloud HCM, different features, new functionality, customer stories within our blog, as well as lots of other applications dependent on where you're at in your cloud journey. And with that, if you want to go to the next slide, I think we will go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for their time today. If you have any questions, feel free again to check us out on the website, or just send an email to cloud@elire.com, and we'll definitely get that over to Amber. Thank you, Amber, for your time and expertise today, and everybody have a great rest of your day. Thank you.